Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 7 topics for this video. First, we're going to find out who is behind Kamala Harris. And we're going to find out the same old philanthropist, entrepreneur and good-spirited Soros family. And we're going to find out a record in donations for Kamala Harris. She sets a record. That is, the US democracy cannot survive without money. But hey, we live in a democracy, a democratic system of electing our officials to represent us, because the votes is that what matters, not the money to run. The first one, Netanyahu. Netanyahu wants to meet Donald Trump. He's coming to Washington, D.C., and he's going to go to address the U.S. Congress again. Remember what's going on in Gaza? No problem. Netanyahu is invited to speak in front of the U.S. Congress. Kamala Harris skips that, but she's going to meet Netanyahu in private because must occur. So these are 3 pieces of news. The Soros, the record funding, Netanyahu coming to speak with Trump, coming to speak eventually in front of the US Congress and meet Kamala Harris. And I'm not done. We have Russian forces, as they call it, liberate another strategic settlement in the Donetsk People's Republic. I will show you maps. And the Ukrainians are retreating from another strategic location in Luhansk, my friends. So the Russians are advancing. So let's start with Miss Kamala Harris and her donations to show you how the US democracy functions. What's the engine of a democracy? Money. No, it's votes. Such a matrix right here. Russia Today. Let me put my goggles. This is from the 23rd of July 2024. Kamala Harris sets new fundraising record. Good for her. The US Vice President has raised more than $80 million in 24 hours. Can you imagine that? Yes, but your vote matters. Shit. US Vice President Kamala Harris has received $81 million in contributions in the first 24 hours since Joe Biden withdrew from the 2024 presidential race and endorsed her candidacy, according to her campaign staff. Team Harris said it's the largest 24 hours raise in presidential history. I would keep my mouth shut if that would be the case, because you rock the boat and the baboons will wake up and find out that's not okay. I will also show you how much the US population trusts the US government. I have an opinion poll and you're going to find out 1% thinks, from the voters, thinks, according to the poll, that the government is not lying. So we have 1% of really baboons. And because some of them said, well, some lie, some don't, sometimes, most of the time, but 1% never. All right, so let's go to the next article, and we're going to find out. We're going to stick with the campaign donations, and we have Elon Musk from Russia Today thanks Soros for unveiling, and I'm quoting, next puppet. And here is Alexander. I don't know why Soros will name his son Alexander, a Greek name which means the leader of people. I should have put Joshua, something like that. The heir to a vast influence empire has urged Americans to, and I'm quoting, unite around Kamala Harris. Isn't he sweet? He just got Uma Abedin. They got engaged. Uma Abedin being the ex-wife, old wife. She's, I think, 47 or 48 or something, and he's 37 or something, or she's 52, he's 47. I think the other way around. Nevertheless, she's 9 years older than this guy. Well, you can't blame who he wants to. But Uma Abedin was married to what's his name? Anthony Weiner. Anthony? What's his name? Anthony Weiner, the Jewish House representative that got fired because he was sexting some to a minor, which is obviously a crime. He's a sex offender right now on the registry, and he's out. Anthony Weiner, that's the way he is. So, nevertheless, he loves her. So he must be one of those guys too? No. Now, Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has mocked George Soros and his son for quickly endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris as the, and I'm quoting, most qualified candidate we have. Do you think she's qualified? I don't think she's qualified. I mean, I know she's not qualified. She's not qualified, but she's promising her family to these guys. Without these guys, you can't do anything in the United States of America, anything meaningful. The U.S. president, politically, the U.S. president, and financially. The U.S. president announced on Sunday that he has quit the race following Biden's announcement. Alex Soros, the son of billionaire financier, Hungarian they call it, but he's Jewish, right? And heir of his father's philanthropic empire. Not even these guys are telling the whole thing. Also promptly endorses Harris, describing her as the Democrats' best shot to defend Donald Trump. And I'm quoting, "It is time for us," yeah, for you guys, yes, "to unite, us all to unite around Kamala Harris and beat Donald Trump. Long live the American dream." God damn it, these guys are laughing about your culture, our culture, that guy. Alex Soros wrote in a post on X, attaching a picture of himself with Harris, and I'm quoting, "I'd just like to thank Alexander Soros for not keeping everyone in suspense about who the next puppet would be." Great. Elon Musk, the owner of X, wrote in response. This is right there. It's Uma Abedin. So she's Pakistani, if I remember correctly. This is Jewish. She's Indian, Caribbean. Great. Hey, where are the whites here? Oh, we had too many of them already. All right, next one. Let's go to this. Fortune. Yahoo Finance. Democrat mega donor, good person, George Soros and his millennial son Alex are throwing their billions behind Kamala Harris as vice president's potential rivals back out. Oh, isn't he sweet? He looks like, what's his name? Shapiro. What's his name? Shapiro. I can't remember his first name. What is his name? Benjamin. The American name of Benjamin translates as, I don't know, us the Hebrew guys. Democrat mega donor, not the Anglo-Saxons or the Europeans. No. Democrat mega donor George Soros is throwing his candidate's considerable wealth behind Kamala Harris now that President Joe Biden has dropped out. His millennial son, to whom the 93-year-old entrusted the running of his $25 billion charitable foundation. Oh, it's beautiful. It's charitable, man. It's just philanthropists. Urged the party to rally behind Biden's vice president at the top of the ticket. This would effectively avoid speed-running an open contest for the nomination with barely more than 100 days left until November 5 elections. Yes, so don't let the people elect who's going to run. We're going to appoint who's going to run. We don't have time. And the same thing, it's time for us to all unite, trabalab, boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's go to the next one. Well, let's see Miss Harris. Sputnik. Harris to skip Netanyahu's address to U.S. Congress, but will host private meeting, reports say. So this guy just angered some of his people somewhere for not doing something. This is why you hear now that Netanyahu is bad and he must be removed. He didn't do something for IFAC, you know, that philanthropist interest group, right? So he didn't do that. That's why. If tomorrow Netanyahu will do what this guy is wanting to do, and I'm not certain exactly what exactly, because when they blame that country, they don't blame the country, they blame Netanyahu and his right-wingers over there. So yes, she will meet him because he's still part of the power structure of the United States of America. Yes, Netanyahu. And Netanyahu will also come and meet his friend Donald Trump. Why? Loyalty. Loyalty seems to be the most important thing in politics and in business, which tells you that weasels are weasels. But hey, that's the way it is. So U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will skip Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to the Congress on Wednesday, but will hold a separate private bilateral meeting with him sometime this week. So why is he coming to talking in front of the Congress? you know. The report said on Monday that a growing number of congressional Democrats are boycotting Netanyahu's speech over his handling of the war in Gaza. Blah, 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 blah. All right, what do we have here? Russia Today. Netanyahu requests meeting with Trump. The Israeli Prime Minister is in Washington to meet with President Joe Biden, and deliver a speech to Congress. Joe Biden said he's not going to meet him. Remember last time? You're not going to be, if you come to Washington DC, I'm not going to see you. Well, I guess they're going to wake him up for this one. And he's going to speak to the U.S. Congress because you got to show who's in charge. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has requested a meeting with Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump while on an official visit to Washington this week. The Israeli leader is expected to meet with President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and other top U.S. officials during his trip. He is also scheduled to deliver a speech in front of the Congress on Wednesday. I don't want him to speak over there, addressing the ongoing war on Gaza. No, he should go in front of the United Nations. According to political sources, Netanyahu's team has also been in contact with Trump, attempting to schedule a face-to-face meeting potentially in Florida. That will happen. Remember, Nigel Farage was over there, even Lazy Lizard Truss was over there, which is Mr. Orban was over there, and others show up at Donald Trump, where they prepared for something that might not happen, which is Trump presidency. All right, so next one. Sputnik. Only 1% of likely voters think the government doesn't lie. So if that's the case, what can you say about the system? Let's say you go to play or to fight in a competition, and everybody over there, 99% of everybody, don't expect the referees, the judges to be fair. What are you going to do? Well, make sure that you reevaluate the system. Why is not trustworthy? Why? Well, because of big interest, donate money, own the media and entertainment, and there you have it. And the politicians will do their bidding. And the population just plays this on the wooden cock. That's what they do. Or, as you call it in Romania, frecția la piciorul de lemn. That means you just massage your wooden leg. That is, doesn't help, doesn't destroy anything. So here, why would you participate in this? Why would you participate in this? And they're still going. And they're still going to vote. They're all happy and they're going to vote in November 5. But 1% from likely voters only believe that these guys don't lie. So that means the system allows a certain kind of group of people to be in charge of a country. You know what? In healthy society, if you find out that your leaders are doing it, or at least you don't trust them at all, you know what would happen with those leaders? Exactly, that's exactly what would happen to them. But here, let's go and drink our beers, watch garbage, stupid TV, and enjoy the games. So nearly half of likely voters in the United States believe that the government lies most or all of the time, and very few think that the government never lies, according to Rasmussen's reports poll released Monday. 1/3, 33% of voters believe that the government officials lie most of the time, and 15% believe that the government officials lie all the time. I don't think they lie all the time, but overwhelmingly. That's my assessment, direct experience. And, you know, knowledge. I'm not going to play retarded because these guys don't want me to tell the truth, or at least what I see and what I understand. The poll report said, moreover, 40% of the voters believe that the government officials lie some of the time, while just 6% believe officials rarely lie again. So we got 7% of baboons, really baboons, and 1% believe they never lie, the poll reported. A majority of black responders, 55% believe the government officials lie at least most of the time. Good job, my fellow Americans, black respondents, as well as 54% of Hispanic voters and 51% of other minorities. But the Americans going to work, did the rest. The poll report said less than half of the white respondents, 46%, believe that the government frequently lies. The poll report said. And I will always love you. That's exactly what I hear when I see this picture. Jesus Christ, look at these clowns. But they're in charge of us. And she's dressed in purple. Do you know why she's dressed in purple? Whatever that is. Or not purple, but nevertheless. She thinks she's royalty, my friends. So, a plurality of respondents. 39% do not trust any of the three branches of the federal government. So, 40% do not trust any. What kind of system is that? 23% of voters trust the executive branch the most. 23. 18% trust the judiciary most, that is the Congress, and 12 that trust Congress, the judiciary is the Supreme Court. And 12% trust Congress the most, the poll report. The poll surveyed 1,000 people. Next one. Russian forces liberate strategic settlement in Donetsk People's Republic. This is 20 minutes ago. Woohoo, that's hot, 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 hot. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. Remember that, what's his name, Jerry Reed song? Jerry, yeah. So Moscow Defense Ministry said that the village was freed as a result of actions by units of Russia's Yug-South Battle Group, who then managed to take more advantageous positions at the front line. The Russian armed forces have liberated the village of Ivano-Daryevka in Donetsk People's Republic. Alright, so let's see where that is. Right here, and it's between Lyshansk, I will show you another map, and that is, where is that? Bakhmut, which is in the south. Right here. So this is between Lyshansk and Bakhmut. So northeast of Bakhmut, we're going to go to this special military operation map, and we're going to go to Bakhmut, which the Russians call Artemovsk. It's right here. So Bakhmut, Artemovsk. So this village must be somewhere in this area. Here is Severodonetsk. So remember the map. This one right here, Severodonetsk there, Bakhmut down here. So in between these two lies this little village. So between Severodonetsk and Artemovsk, which is right here, it should be somewhere here. This is where these guys liberated a new town, or occupied, however we want to look at it. Ivano-Daryevka. Next one. Again from Sputnik. 4 hours ago, Ukrainian troops abandoned positions in Makeyevka in Lugansk People's Republic. Look at this guy. Man. War. The Ukrainian armed forces have suffered serious losses and abandoned their positions in the Makeyevka settlement in the Lugansk People's Republic, retreating to reserve positions to the northwest. Andrei Mapapap, a retired army officer of the Lugansk People's Republic and a military expert, told Sputnik. So see where that location is, Makeyevka. So here is Makeyevska is Kharkiv. Makeyevska is right here, and this is by Krematorsk. All right, Krematorsk, and then we're gonna go to Kupiansk. In the big scheme of things, we're gonna go north, and this is, let's put it this way, Kupiansk is in this area here. So is in this area where this situation occurred. So we have here where my strong hand is, and here. So they're advancing, the Russians are advancing. So my friends, we know who the donors are. You know who's behind Kamala Harris, the trust in the system and in their institutions as well in the US, but democracy is go and vote. And then we have the Russians liberating that, the Ukrainians retreating. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.